Hey gang, welcome to the show. Coach Clint here, Clint Watson, and normally I'm representing Creed Fitness, but today I'm representing the Oconee Chamber. I'm the current chairman of the board for the Oconee Chamber, and the mission of the chamber is really this, right? It's to enhance the quality of life in our local community, and we do that by supporting local businesses. And so today we've got Jennifer Westmoreland on the show. Welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you very much.
With Westmoreland and Associates, correct?
Jennifer Westmoreland Associates. We're with Keller Williams Realty, Greater Athens.
Awesome. I wasn't sure if you included Jennifer in that. If you said like Westmoreland Associates, or if you say Jennifer Westmoreland.
It's Jennifer Westmoreland and Associates. That's what it's always been, and the associates are actually more in charge probably than I am. I just do what they tell me to do.
Right. All right. So since when? You said always been. When did you guys get started?
I've been an agent since 1994, and Jennifer Westmoreland Associates pretty much started when I joined Keller Williams in 2010.
Okay. And what got you into the real estate world?
My mother wanted to take the real estate course way back in the 90s, and didn't want to drive to Gainesville by herself, so she roped me into going with her, and I decided pretty quickly I could have a more flexible schedule and raise a son easier that way, so that's what I did.
Yeah. So when you started, did you start kind of more part-time and then you sort of moved into full-time, or did you just go straight at it?
Nope, I just jumped in. I was 19 and got my real estate license and sat at the desk and for a couple of weeks wondered when somebody was going to call me.
Just sit around and wait for calls,
yep,
right? That's the best strategy,
figured
right?
out pretty quick that's not how that works.
Right.
So
you've probably learned a lot of lessons along the way. What would you say one or two big lessons that you've learned on how to succeed in real estate in particular?
I think a lot of people say that it's business, it's not personal. But in this business, it's all personal. And, a home sale or a home purchase is the biggest investment a buyer or seller is going to make sometimes. And it's always personal. Yeah. So we try to take it personal for our clients as well.
That's good. And so, okay, this is always a question that I have when I think about real estate and just that world, real estate agents, is it is so dang competitive. Like, God, I mean, how many real estate agents are in town? I mean, is it like 500 or something crazy?
No, it's a lot higher than that here in the Athens market. Yeah. I don't know the exact numbers right now. I know in the height of the market we had well over 1,500. Wow. I don't think we're quite there yet, but
just right here in the Athens, Oconee area?
Local 5-county area, you've got a lot of agents, and you've got Atlanta agents as well. You've got a couple multiple listing services that bleed over. So we got a lot of agents in the area. And
so with that being said, I mean, how do you separate yourself from the competition? Like, what's different about you guys?
Well, I think we're just specialized professionals in what we do. And so everybody on my team gets to do what they're the best at and what they love to do. And I learned a long time ago, you can't be the best at everything. So I focus on what I focus on the team. My buyer's agent is the best at what he does. Our staff, every single person that we've got gets to do what they're the best at, and it makes us exceptional in what we do, I think.
And so for a real estate team like that, I mean, forgive me just for my ignorance of the industry, but for a real estate team, what are some of those roles that your team has to play?
We've got, I'm the listings agent, so I do all the listings. We've got a listings manager, and she does all of the marketing for the listings, feedback, showing, scheduling, all of that. Brandon is the buyer's agent, so he takes care of all of our buyer clients. Hannah is also a backup buyer's agent and a lead specialist. So every lead that comes in, Hannah talks to them, finds out if they're pre-qualified, pre-approved, all of that. Susan is probably the glue that holds our whole team together. She's contract to close and basically tells us everything to do. And
the detailed person.
She's the detailed person, and she's been with me 7 years. And Miss Cheryl's our office manager, bookkeeper. And then we've got Derek, who is the world's best real estate runner that can do anything that needs to be done.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, okay, you're kind of answering a question that I've had in the back of my mind for a long time. It's kind of like, well, my brother's sister's aunt's uncle is a real estate agent. If I sell my house, I'll probably just list with him because he's my friend. But from hearing all that, I mean, you got a team of people that's probably not the best idea, right?
Probably not. You know, a lot of times family and friends can get sideways when you're dealing with business and with real estate. And again, I just think you want to go with whoever is going to provide the best service. It's just like when you interview for a lender or, a real estate agent or whatever. It has to be a good fit as well. I mean, we don't want to list every property. We can't help every buyer. There's plenty of business out there for all of us. And it's just more of what's a fit for each individual person.
Yeah, that's good. Again, we've touched on just the competition part of it, but let's talk a little bit about sort of the market, because I feel like the market is a little interesting right now, right? What are your thoughts on today's housing market?
The market is quite different than it's ever been before. I've done this 24 years. We saw it start last year. The inventory lack of is what's driving the market right now. It's definitely a seller's market in our local area. I've never seen anything like it. You know, if properties are priced correctly, they're usually getting multiple offers quickly. We actually are in a position where we have clients who want to list their property, but if they're not prepared to move or don't want to move until summer, we're not listing them. We're holding off because properties are moving that quickly, and there's just not enough properties on the market for our buyers. And
it's like you list it. This is what I've heard anyway. People list their house and they get like 2 and 3 and 4 offers on their house, but then it's sort of a conundrum because you're like, well, where am I going to go?
Well, and that's why we tell our clients, if you're not prepared to move twice, if we get you the best possible price we could get you in this market, if you're not prepared to move twice, let's not put it on the market. You're going to do yourself a disservice to be on the market and not sell the house. So we have clients, some that are willing to take that chance and move twice if they have to, because the house they're wanting on the other side maybe hasn't come on the market yet. It's probably not going to hit till May. And so we have some clients that we've told that to, and then we have others that are like, yeah, I'll move twice and to get the top dollar. And so those are the ones that we go ahead and move forward on.
Okay, this is a little bit of a selfish question because I'm a first-time homeowner, right? So I've never sold my house before. I've never done that before. But just with today's market, and you hear about the inventory being low and you hear about multiple offers and all this stuff, me and my wife are considering, selling our home. And so there's that temptation of doing the for sale by owner. I'm kind of like, well, dang, if, people getting all these offers, I'll just do it myself. But then I don't know how to do anything, you know what I mean? So what do you do for somebody who is leaning towards or tempted by for sale by owner? What do you say to them in that scenario?
Well, I think on the national average, NAR, National Association of Realtors, says more than 84% of the time for sale by owners would have made more money had they hired an agent.
Dang.
And it's because the agents do so much more than the public perceives.
Okay.
When you're a for sale by owner and you're going to show that property to a buyer, do you have the ability to know if they're pre-qualified? Can you talk to that lender? Do you make sure that they're really a viable candidate for your house? As well as just all of the checklist and paperwork and contracts and follow-up, inspections and market. All of those things, even if you're a for sale by owner in a market like this where you don't have to do as much marketing, the back end work that has to be done to make sure you get to the closing table is what we focus on.
Right.
I think we have a 177 point checklist that we do on every single transaction to get it to the table.
Wow.
And there's a lot involved. And that's why I said Susan on my team that does contract to close, she's a rock star at that.
Yeah.
The easy part is getting you under contract. The hard part is getting you to the table to close.
There you go. Okay. Well, that's good. That's a lot of stuff that I had no idea about. Also, I don't know if like the statistics on it, but is there a certain statistic where when somebody does for sale by owner, a lot of times this percentage of the time they end up listing with a real estate agent anyway?
I don't have the actual statistics on that, but we're pretty consistent on going, we'll watch those for sale by owners. A lot of times if we have a buyer in that price range, we'll touch base with them. We'll still show their property. If they're willing to cooperate with an agent, we don't have to list it. If we have a buyer, we'll work with them as well. But I would say more than 70% of the time, if they don't sell it quickly, they end up probably going with an agent. And I would think that number could be higher, but I'm just kind of guessing at that.
Right. And so it's kind of like, well, if you went with an agent from the get-go, you saved yourself all the time and the stress.
The showings, the qualifying of the buyers, the making sure, the feedback. a buyer won't necessarily tell the owner what they didn't like about the
Sure.
house.
Oh, that's good.
You know, if you hear something 3 times and it's a negative and we can change it, we tell our sellers that we need to work on doing that.
That's
So we
really
listen
good.
to the market and the other agents that are showing the properties.
I like that. Very informative. Thank you. Tater chips or ice cream?
Ice cream with tater chips.
She didn't even have to think about that one. I was just straight up. I just wanted to see, you know, if you think on your feet there. All right. Lastly, you're involved with the Humane Society. So tell me about that a little bit.
The Athens Area Humane Society is one of our big whys of what we do. So we try to give a portion of every single closing to them. We've also been a major sponsor of theirs. We're doing a gala with them this year. I just, like I said, the animals are true to my heart. I love all of them, but especially, you know, the local ones when you see them on Facebook, and they really do a good job of trying to find a home for every animal and save the lives of those animals. So whatever we can do to help, we do.
That's good. Enhancing our community.
That's right.
You're right on board with the chamber.
Yep.
I like it. So what do you love about this area? It's just kind of last question. What do you love? I mean, okay, let me say it this way. I'm from this area. I'm from Athens, moved to Oconee when I was 10, and I'm always intrigued by people who move here, because I'm always like, just because I've always lived here, you know, I'm like, what makes people move here? And so you see people moving here all the time, right? What about this area is attractive to people?
You know, I'm from Athens too, so I already know it's great. But it's always interesting when I get to hear what everybody else hears that's great about it. Of course, you know, locally our school system is a big driver of people to our community. The University of Georgia, Athens in itself is just a great college town. We're close to everything. You can be in the big city in an hour. It's a great place to retire. There's plenty of health care here. There's plenty of things to do. So there's just been, I'm trying to think of what's the most unusual thing that someone has said that has brought them here, and I can't think of one right now, but I'm sure there's been some interesting ones over the years.
Right.
But overall, everybody just is very, very drawn to Athens.
Right. Yeah.
It's a small town, but it's close enough to be in the big city in a few minutes.
Right. Yeah, that's good. And then correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like a lot of times people are drawn here because of Athens, but then they end up living in Oconee. What is that typical?
Oh yeah, we have a lot of people who, you know, Oconee, again, the school systems are very, very popular. Also people that want to be a little bit more rural setting, but still be a few minutes from Athens.
Right.
So Oconee County in general is just one of the most popular areas that people are moving here from. And it's always interesting. We have people moving from all over the country, and they tell me where they want to look at houses. And, you know, Oconee County is what we hear all the time.
That's awesome. Well, I guess we're doing something right around here.
Yep, I think so.
Well, Jennifer, thank you for coming on the show today. I hope you got to know her a little bit better in her business. Jennifer, Westmoreland Associates. Anything final you want to add? Anything we missed out on?
No, I don't think so.
Awesome.
I think I'm very blessed to be doing what I love to do every day with the people I get to do it with.
That's awesome. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Ice
All
cream,
gang.
always.
Ice cream and a little few tater chips sprinkled
on
in.
top.
That's right. There you have it, people. List your property, sell your property, and then celebrate with some tater chips and ice cream. Hey, so I'm Coach Clint. Thanks for joining us today with the Oconee Chamber. Keep following us. We got a few more shows coming for you. Talk to you soon.